Welcome to the Hanna Show, where business, as usual, gets a swift kick in the ass. If you're tired of the same old advice and ready to disrupt the status quo, you're in the right place. I'm cutting through the noise with bold strategies, unfiltered truths, and a no-nonsense approach to entrepreneurship, video marketing, and content creation. Buckle up, because it's time to level up, stand out, and dominate your market. This isn't just another podcast, it's a wake-up call for entrepreneurs and would-be aspiring solopreneurs who are all in. Let's get started. All right, we're back with another episode of the Hanna Show, and I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while here. So as many of you know, who follow me, who know me, who have listened to me, seen me on wherever I post content, I am someone who's quite visible. I'm out there all the time. I'm always posting about what's going on, specifically in my business, and a little bit of personal mixed in. But I think about it, building a personal brand isn't about attention. It's about control. You see, I didn't set out to build a personal brand. Yes, I love the attention. Yes, I love to be on stages and speak. But I didn't wake up one day thinking I should post more just so people know who I am. That was framing it the wrong way. I started building a personal brand because I was tired of other people controlling the narrative. You see, when you don't control the story, somebody else will. Early on, my business existed in fragments. People knew maybe the company name, maybe the service, maybe they had a referral source that connected with me, but they didn't know how I think, what I believe, what I won't tolerate, and where I draw lines. So they filled in gaps themselves, which can be dangerous. See, when you're not visible, assumptions replace reality. I don't want the attention is usually just fear really masked in disguise. And I hear this all the time. I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be online. I don't need the attention. I just want to do good work. And it sounds noble. It's great. But it's actually bullshit. You see, what people actually mean is they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be misunderstood. They don't want to be wrong publicly. And silence feels safer than exposure. But safety doesn't build leverage. A personal brand is a filter, not a megaphone. This is what most people miss. A real personal brand doesn't attract everyone, but it repels the wrong people. You see, the clearer that I became publicly, the fewer bad fit conversations I had, and I had a lot of those early on, the fewer bullshit opportunities showed up, the less I had to ultimately explain myself also happened. So that's not attention. That's control. You see, being known for something is more valuable than just being liked. So at some point, you have to decide. Do you want to be agreeable? Do you want to be inoffensive? Or do you want to be understood? You see, you don't get both. Every time I softened to take a stance that would avoid friction, the message weakened. Every time I said exactly what I believed, the right people leaned in. That trade-off is unavoidable. You see, I found that the more opinionated I could be, the more I actually attracted the right people and repelled those who were not a good fit. And it brought me in more opportunities, in more money, which is great, but just more opportunities more than anything else. Opportunities to connect, to learn, to grow, to share, to ultimately find out about other people in their business who were like-minded with me. So visibility, I found, is the cure to all, right? And being visible, not for the sake of being visible, but being visible and sharing who you are and what you stand for. It also removes desperation from decisions too. Because no one really talks about this. When people already know who you are and how you think, you, as a business owner, you don't chase, you don't beg, you don't over-explain. People come to you, or maybe I'll even say it this way, opportunities come to you that are more pre-qualified. That ultimately changes how you sell. It changes how you price. It changes what you tolerate. That's power that most business owners never experience. A personal brand protects you when things also get quiet. Because in this business, not just my business, but any business, feast or famine is real. I had a conversation earlier today with somebody who they're talking about the roller coaster in their business. Sometimes it's busy and sometimes it's slow. Sometimes that's exactly what I feel too. Slow periods are going to happen. But when they do, a personal brand helps maybe keep the conversation warmer, maybe helps keep you top of mind, helps keep trust alive when you're not selling. Without it, every slow period might make you feel like you're starting from zero. I don't know about you, but I have zero interest in rebuilding from scratch every single time there's a shift in the market. So getting out there, putting yourself out there, building a personal brand, sharing your true, authentic self, it's not about ego. It's actually about survival. This is not being, influencer kind of shit that people talk about. This isn't vanity. This isn't about chasing likes. It's about not letting the platforms, the referrals, the algorithms, or other people's opinions dictate whether your business lives or dies. We're talking about survival here. Because if your entire pipeline, because one channel maybe dries up, you don't have a brand, you've got a dependency on things that you have no control over. So I have found that building in public then has helped me. It's kept me honest and authentic and real. When you say things publicly, I believe you're forced to live up to them. You see, you can't hide behind excuses. You can't quietly pivot without accountability. And you can't bullshit yourself for too long either. The pressure is uncomfortable, but it's also useful. It sharpens decision making. The right people, though, they recognize themselves in your content. The goal shouldn't be mass appeal. The goal is resonance. Because when the right people read something, see something, I don't want them to say, hey, that's interesting. I want them to say, yeah, that's exactly it. This person's talking to me. Those are the people that you want in your world. Clients, as partners, as event organizers. Everyone else, you can scroll past. But you want to attract people who really want to do business with you. In my business, I have found that I've got the opportunity to get speaking opportunities because I've been more clear about who I am, what I do. It's not about the volume game. It's not about how much I'm putting out. It's about speaking honest truths, and that's brought me more opportunities to speak, something I love to do, which ultimately brings me more business on the content side. So I look at like people who are maybe holding events. They're not looking for the loudest voices in the room, the biggest followings, the most polished of speakers even. They look for somebody who can talk with conviction, who's got a lived experience worth sharing, and someone who can hold a room without hiding who they are. And I find for myself, a personal brand that I've started to create for myself has started to open up those opportunities to speak on more stages. So the longer that I keep putting myself out there consistently and showing up authentically, the easier conversations are becoming for me. The fewer explanations are ultimately needed, and the more aligned opportunities continue to appear. Now, it didn't happen overnight. And if you think it's going to happen overnight, if you post one video and you think it's going to blow you up into something special, you are wrong. Control is something that I've been trying to do, and controlling what I put out into the world and how often I'm putting it out. And control not by sense of censoring myself, but control of just the message and sharing that consistent message of who I truly am. It compounds. So again, to end this quick episode here today, I want to say that building a personal brand isn't about being seen. It's about deciding how you're seen. If you don't define your position publicly, the market will define it for you. And it won't ask for your permission either. So I would rather be misunderstood by a few than invisible to everyone. Now that's not ego. That's ultimately just strategy. All right, that's a wrap for today's dose of reality on the Chris Hanna Show. If you're fired up and ready to kick some serious ass, then I've done my job. But remember, knowledge without action is just wasted breath. So what are you going to do? Sit around and let opportunities pass you by? Or are you going to step up and take what's yours? The choice is yours, but don't expect sympathy if you choose the easy road.
If you've got value from today's episode, smash that subscribe button, leave a review, or share it with somebody who needs a wake-up call. Don't keep this gold to yourself unless you're afraid of a little competition. Stay bold, stay hungry, and remember, always go all in. Until next time, this is Chris Hanna signing off. Now go out there and take what's yours